been fun coming back to school, and then at school we can do a lot of activities and things like that, and we had get more time to see our teachers, because next week we're gonna move to upper key stage, right?
Yeah, it's been actually really fun because we're getting to see our friends, and it already feels like home.
It's really good being back at school because I get to see my friends, and I get to spend time with my teacher and my new teacher too. I get to leave me alone, do my work. And that's 5 weeks.
You have a really good time at lunchtime and playtime, of course. Everyone likes lunchtime and play.
Welcome back, everybody. It's been wonderful to see so many of you again this week. As we've spent a final few days with our teachers from last year, it's been so super to watch you smiling as you enter the building, and how great it has been for you to be reunited with your friends. I'm hoping that as many of you are watching now with your families and seeing how things have come together and changed through the pictures that you've just been looking at, today and next Friday, the 18th, you won't be in school, but you'll still be able to enjoy a little assembly. This week's one will be slightly shorter because we haven't got any stars of the week for you. But next week, maybe we'll start again with some stars of the week, and we can get back to some sort of normality for us in our assemblies. Then, on the Friday, the 25th, you'll be back in your classrooms, and we'll be having our assemblies in our classrooms with your teacher, but all of the classes will be watching the assembly at the same time. So we can still enjoy that community experience together, and we'll be able to see who are the stars, and we'll be able to share the thoughts together, but we just won't be in the same room to do it. Now, whilst we've been on holiday and before that time, we've all been working incredibly hard to make sure that the school is an incredibly safe place for you to come back to. But we also are working hard to make sure that the place remains as an institution, as a building, which encourages that confidence, the creativity, the care and aspiration that we always have done. In particular this year, we've obviously had to work really hard to ensure that COVID-19 does not enter our building. So the way we're trying to make that happen is that we're limiting our visitors into the building, so asking the parents to contact the school by email or by phone, and that any other visitors are limited to outside of school hours. The other thing that we're doing to try to not allow COVID-19 in is making sure that if you are symptomatic at all, if you have that cough or a fever, or you've got a loss of your sense of taste and smell, that you just do not come to school, because those are symptoms of COVID-19. And if you experience those symptoms, then you should be going to get a test. So we're trying to make sure that COVID-19 doesn't come in. However, sometimes people are asymptomatic, which means they don't have those symptoms. And so it might be that the virus gets into the building. If it does, we've got to work very hard to make sure that it's not spread quickly in a population of lots and lots of people. So what are we doing there? We're trying really hard to make sure that you wash your hands regularly and that you have really good hand hygiene, but also that you have good respiratory hygiene. So if you cough and if you sneeze, that you don't cough or sneeze into your hand, because then your hand will go and touch something else, but that you cough or sneeze into your elbow or into a tissue, and then you get rid of that tissue. We're also trying to limit how much crossing over we have of people in individual bubbles. So the bubbles are year groups, and we're trying really hard not to mix up the bubbles, so that if we do get a case, we would only need to close down a bubble rather than lots of bubbles. So that's why we've got things like the one-way system, and that's why we've got less people going into the dining hall and all of those sort of things. Parents, carers, if you're watching, please, please, please do look at the risk assessment which is on the website, and hopefully that will provide you any information. But remember, you can always call the school and you can speak to me, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So, the start of a new year always brings changes, and we've lots of change here too. We've got new people joining the Park Primary family, both children and adults. We have new teachers and learning support assistants who you'll be getting to meet in the next coming weeks. Now, I can't run round with the laptop and the camera and show you these people so that they can say hello. I'm afraid that's going to be too difficult. I don't want to disturb them, but I really do want to give them a warm welcome to our community. September also brings new introductions. It's been a delightful experience to see our new reception children coming in this morning, and they've had a Forest School experience at some point this week. And then we've also got our new nursery children over in Little Park, over in St Matthew's Church down the road. Welcome to all of our super new students. In fact, we've also got some new arrivals, some new children coming into all the year groups. So again, welcome to you all. It's great to meet you, and I'm sure you'll be very, very happy, like we all are, here at Park. For this term, at least, from Friday the 25th, we will continue to do our big whole assemblies over YouTube. And like I said, you will be in your classrooms watching it. We will release this at 9:10 every Friday morning. And you'll be sharing your learning in school, telling stories, discussing special themes, and getting a chance to celebrate your learning. We will also be doing our sharing assemblies in classes, and that will be going out over YouTube so that your parents still get to see you in your classes and your learning that you are doing, but it will just be done in a slightly different way. And of course, it will be a chance for us to share the stars of the week. This is going to be a little bit different this year, because I will be announcing the stars of the week in the assembly, and I will then be going to the classes to give the certificates and say congratulations to the children individually and say well done to you all. A great thing about how we're doing this now, and with the videos being on YouTube, is you can watch it live in your classrooms, and then you'll be able to watch it with your parents and carers and family at home. So we're hoping that that's something to celebrate. Please make sure that you're all tuning in at 9:10 every Friday. So, with all that stuff out the way, I think it's time, isn't it, Philos? It's time for us to have a little chat. Now, coming back to school has probably made lots of us feel many different emotions. I know for certain that I was feeling a little bit anxious, perhaps a little bit worried, but also super, super excited to see everybody. So it was all mixed up, all jumbled up inside my stomach and inside my head. And those feelings that I was having, I knew that once I got back into school, those feelings would change and I would be able to adapt. But as I was thinking about coming back, I think I was really starting to worry about things that actually I was worrying more than really I needed to. And I needed to talk to somebody about those worries. Now, the thing about worry is you don't want to make it too big a thing. And so you have to find your own way to manage your worries. And in fact, if I tell you a little story about what happened to me this morning, we dropped Sebastian, who's my son, off at school this morning, and he was crying. because he was going to school, and he's only been back to school 3 days, and actually he is he's gone into year 9, so he's 13 years old, and he was a bit sad because somebody hadn't been very kind to him yesterday, and he was worrying about how to deal with it. And I said to him, you know what, Sebastian, you won't be able to change what people say to you. The only thing that you can do is manage yourself and your reaction to it. And so we talked about it, and when he left, he cheered up and he had a big smile on his face, and he stopped worrying. And I said to him, you need to say to yourself, if someone says those things to you, you need to say to yourself, I am strong. I don't need to listen to these things that you're saying, and I certainly don't want those things to hurt me. And so he went off to school, and I was worried when he went off to school because I was worrying about him. But he went off then with a smile on his face. So I've got a little story to share with you now about, and it's called I'm Worried. So I'm going to share that with you just because I think it might be an emotion, a feeling that some of you are experiencing at the moment. I might be wrong, because you might be just full of excitement, full of happiness and joy about returning to school and seeing your friends. But let's see what this book is about. So, when I'm worried, I feel like a dog that can't find his bone. A balloon that's losing its air. A bird that knows there's a cat about somewhere. When I'm worried, there's a black cloud over my head. There are butterflies in my tummy. My face wears a frown. I can't concentrate on my work at school. When my friends leave me out of their games and I don't know what it is that I've done, I feel worried. But I soon find someone else to play with. When I have to read my poem out at a special assembly and everyone is looking at me, I feel worried. But once I start reading, I begin to enjoy myself. When I'm told I'll have to stay in hospital for a night, I feel worried. But Mum says that she'll be there holding my hand. When I know that I'm taking a test at my swimming club, I feel worried. But everyone cheers as I swim past, and I forget how worried I was. When my rabbit is unwell and leaves the food that I give him, I feel worried. But the vet says, "Don't worry, he'll be all right in a day or two." Sometimes adults say, "Stop worrying. Snap out of it. You're a big girl now. Be brave. There's nothing to worry about." But adults have their own worries too. Is there enough money to pay all the bills? Am I losing my hair? Sometimes things that I do might worry other people. When I walk along a high wall, when I don't look properly as I cross the road. When I find myself feeling worried, it helps if I think about something pleasant. A trip to the cinema, a game with Dad, playing on the computer, stroking Philos. It helps if I can talk to someone about my worries, even if it's only little Ben from next door. But often, worries can disappear as quickly as they came, just like the bubbles that float away on the breeze. And the final line is, the final two sentences, says, look up, not down, smile, don't frown. Which is a lovely thing to say at the end of the book. Although I would like to just say that I think it's really important. It is important to look up, not down, and look for the good and be excited and be happy. But if you are looking down with a frown, please know that there's someone there to listen to you. Please know that it's okay to have worries, and actually it's really good to share your worries. There's always someone at school who you can talk to. You just need to find the person that you're comfortable talking to. Don't feel, even though this is saying, cheer up, be happy, it's really important that we cheer up and we be happy. But it's also really important that we don't just cover things up if we are feeling sad about something, and that we find that opportunity to talk about it, because very often we realise that when we talk about it, at least part of the worry goes away because it's shared and it's not just occupying a lot of our headspace, and that doesn't need to be there. So I think my advice to you from this little chat about worries is, no matter how old you are, there are things that worry us and sometimes cause us anxiety, and that is absolutely fine. But it's not fine if you're letting that worry and anxiety get you down over a long period of time, because you really do need to find somebody to talk to about it. And hopefully that person won't say, stop worrying, you've got nothing to worry about. What do you have to worry about? And if they do say that, go and find someone else to share your worries with, because really what you need is somebody to listen to you and to help you through it. And you are super, you are great, and we can all overcome those worries. We just need somebody to share with, and then we need to find our inner strength, okay? So I'm going to end that then today and just say that I really hope that some of those worries that you might have had before you came back to school, you actually don't have anymore. Because very often when we're thinking about doing something, that's what causes the worry. Just like the person in the book here who was worrying about saying their poem aloud, and then when they got on the stage and they were reading their poem, it was all great and they loved the moment. I'm a bit like that. I worry every time I have to do one of these assemblies, and then when I start doing it, I realise I actually love it. So I hope lots of your worries and any anxiety that you had has been overcome this week. But if it hasn't, please just remember, next week there's always someone here to share a worry with. And if you can't find anyone else, Phyllis is a great listener, and I'm also not too bad either. All I need to say is then, stay safe over the course of the weekend. We look forward to seeing you next week, whether your days are Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday, Thursday. And then remember that from week commencing the 21st, we're all back into school all together. And I can't wait. Take care, everyone.